Hey y'all, it's places that's named a particular way. You know how there was a Watergate scandal and such? Well, I've been thinking about this mermaid game, right? Which I gathered just from my own, my own deduction about it, right? Deductive reasoning, right? I was like, shoot. Well, if there's a mermaid game and it's terrifying, right? I'm like, well, what is a mermaid game? Well, some of the worst games ever played in history or just period are with people. Like when people play games with people's lives, they are evil. So I was thinking about the mermaid game and all that stuff and all the mermaids references and stuff. All these mermaids that are fixed on the street corners and such. And I remember that iPad Goat 2 video. Like it really creeped me out, you know. And one of the images looks like what I believe the mermaid game is. It was a little Latino boy. He was bandaged around his legs like they had cut him up. And he looked like what was a fish, okay, in terms of his bandaging. So I said all of that because I'm like, man, sometimes I feel like if people didn't know any better in low income areas, there are things that go beyond what we would understand to be fathomable truth, okay? So we like, yo, yeah, you know how we were told conventionally that white people are serial killers, and if you weren't told that, yeah, you know, they're crazy. But then what if we got real local crazies and they wasn't white at all? They was the people that was at Watergate. So this store has Watergate 5 as a name, right? And this isn't to get at anybody that owns the store or anything, but it has little mermaids on it. I'm just gonna let y'all see. Watergate salad is probably like one of the best things I ate in my life. But when it comes to Watergate as a stigmatized word, I can say that Watergate is most readily associated with a scandal, okay? And when I think about the Watergate scandal, Watergate, interesting, mermaid, it's very interesting to think about what the scandal may be under the skin. In other words, there's the iceberg, right? Like the top is like the tip, but the real stuff, that big ice chunk under there, like what if we see the Watergate scandal as, yeah, it was all this stuff. But really, they were trying to cover up like what they call covert ops, like this crazy stuff where they're torturing and raping and doing all kinds of crazy stuff in disenfranchised communities. In other words, have they been going to ghettos, grabbing up black people, white people, Latinos? Have they been grabbing people up in these poor communities and torturing people? It seems like that's what they're into. So, and it's called Watergate. I'm like, why mermaid game? Why mermaids and stuff? Like after I saw that iPad Go 2 situation, I was like, whoa. That particular situation where somebody would cut off somebody's legs and bandage them like a fish. That's what the mermaid game, I've understood that the mermaid game is. Ellen DeGeneres and Jessica Simpson were in an interview one day, and I heard her say the mermaid game. Her eyes got big while she was talking to Ellen about the mermaid game. Like, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm like, okay, what is this mermaid game? So, FYI, I think I understand what it is. It's a game in which they do evil things. And I don't like mermaids. I just don't like the things. I don't like any animal-human combination. Anything they got a human as a part, and it ain't right under God, it's an abomination, in other words, and God would have washed it off the earth in the flood. I'm like, it probably has a reason for being an abomination that we didn't understand. Like a lot of people trying to figure out, oh, I want mermaids to be real. Then you didn't understand that it's a torture of old. Maybe it's something that they did to people, like tarring and feathering. Maybe they mermaided people. So, blessings.